What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing a Manchester City transfer update. Before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. Remember, going to be doing daily Manchester City transfer updates from June for you guys to stay up to date with here on YouTube with all the latest Manchester City transfer news. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 200 likes is the aim. We smashed it on the last video. Can we smash it on this one as well? That would be great. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Finally, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Sofascore, who are going to be keeping you up to date with all the latest football scores and all the other scores from all the other sports that you guys love to go and follow. It's a free app to download. The link is in the description. Alternatively, you can use the QR code on screen. You scan that, that'll take you to the download page to download the free Sofascore app. Anyone that does download the Sofascore app does help to support the future content created here on my channel, and it also does keep these videos coming for you guys, so make sure you do use the link in the description. It's a very highly rated app, so do go and check it out. Links and details they're in the description. So we're going to crack on with this video. We're going to start off with the out, and we've got the very latest on Liam Delap, and he spent the season out on loan at Hull City in the Championship. He's not done too bad at all. 31 appearances, 2 assists and 8 goals. It's his best season yet in competitive football. Anyway, Alan Nixon, he says that Manchester City want to sell Liam Delap this summer to the highest bidder. Manchester City are looking for a permanent transfer, not a loan transfer. There's plenty of Championship clubs interested in Liam Delap, and it's believed that Manchester City are looking for around £10 million this summer. They also want to include a buyback clause and a sell-on clause on that deal as well. When I do get the updates, of course, on Liam Delap and all the other transfers involving the young Manchester City players, I will keep you guys up to date here on YouTube first and fast. So, moving on, we've got the very latest on Tommy Doyle, and confirmed what I mentioned on my last transfer update, that Tommy Doyle has now joined Wolverhampton Wanderers on a permanent basis. Mike Minay has confirmed that he joins for over £4 million. A buyback clause and a sell-on fee have been included on this deal. Wolves had the option to make this transfer permanent from loaning him last summer, and they've chosen to go and do that. This transfer will take effect on July 1st, which is why Tommy Doyle couldn't play against Manchester City, even though this transfer was announced before the weekend's game when we took on Wolves, because the transfer won't be sorted until the football fixture calendar changes over to next season, which the cut-off period falls on June 30th and the cut-off goes into July 1st. So from July 1st, Tommy Doyle officially will be on a permanent basis a Wolverhampton Wanderers player. So I want to wish the very best of luck there to Tommy and wishing him well. So moving on, we've got the very latest on Kalvin Phillips, and he's picked up an injury with West Ham, and the rumours are he's returned back to Manchester City to undergo treatment for his recovery. He's out for the season, and West Ham are believed to not be interested in activating their option to make that transfer permanent this summer. They do have up until June 30th to decide if they do want to take up that option, but they'll more than likely communicate what they're going to be doing with this transfer to Manchester City much before June 30th. But the initial instincts are West Ham aren't going to make that transfer permanent, and so because of that, there are now some more clubs interested in Kalvin Phillips. The club that's most interested right now is Leeds United, his former club where Manchester City signed Kalvin Phillips from, but a lot depends on what happens with them and whether they're promoted to the Premier League via the Championship playoffs, as it was confirmed on the final day that Ipswich Town were promoted to the Premier League, taking up that second spot with Leicester City finishing first, so they're both coming up to the Premier League. Leeds United are going to have to battle it out in the playoffs, and if they come up, they want to make a move for Kalvin Phillips, but if they don't win the playoffs and they stay down in the Championship, what's going to happen to Kalvin Phillips and where he's going to end up? I don't know. Definitely something for me to keep my eyes and ears open for. Anyway, we've got the very latest on Kyle Walker, and this is quite interesting. The Sun have said that Kyle Walker has been in touch with his old friend Riyad Mahrez, asking about life in Saudi Arabia, and apparently Kyle Walker is potentially interested in moving away from Manchester City this summer to potentially seek a big money move to Saudi Arabia instead. So one of them situations to watch this space. And speaking about Saudi Arabia takes us on to Kevin De Bruyne, and Miguel Delaney has said that Kevin De Bruyne hasn't said no yet to an offer from Saudi Arabia this summer. Apparently, they're willing to offer Kevin De Bruyne 75 million euros a year in wages. Manchester City are looking for a fee north of 100 million pounds for Kevin De Bruyne to leave the club this summer, and Saudi Arabia have made Kevin De Bruyne one of their #1 targets to join their league. So again, like Kyle Walker, something for me to keep my eyes and ears open for. As I was mentioning in my last video, Kevin De Bruyne is very settled in Manchester. He's got a wife, he's got children here who are all happy and settled in Manchester as well. But football and the transfer market being open can be very unsettling, and things can happen, and things can happen very fast that can be life-changing. So I'll keep my eyes and ears open there with any developments on Kevin De Bruyne. Now moving on, we've got the very latest on Bernardo Silva, and Lou Martin, a source close to Barcelona, has said that Manchester City aren't budging on their £50 million release clause for Bernardo Silva. Clubs that are interested, City are pointing at that release clause. City confident that no Premier League clubs are going to be making an offer for him because they regard Bernardo Silva as being loyal to the club, that he wouldn't leave Man City to go to another Premier League club. Doesn't really match up with what he's wanting and why he's wanting to leave Manchester City in the first place, which is for nicer climate, basically. He wants to go to Iberia. He's from Portugal. He wants to either return to Portugal or go to Spain. He's looking for some nicer weather and some sunshine. Do you blame him? Anyway, that's not going to happen in England. It's not going to happen for any club in the Premier League. So a move for him to go to another Premier League club isn't going to happen. And my first initial thoughts were, when this release clause came in, is that Bernardo Silva cannot leave Manchester City for another club in the Premier League as per his release clause. However, it's a little bit misty and unclear as to whether Premier League clubs can activate that £50 million release clause. It's another matter whether Bernardo Silva says yes or no, which is why I have doubts about that, and I have doubts about PSG wanting to make a move for Bernardo Silva as well, because it just doesn't suit what Bernardo Silva is looking for. And it's always felt like, to me, with Bernardo Silva turning 30 in August, it's always been pretty clear that Bernardo Silva wants to return back to Benfica, and they can't afford £50 million this summer, so that's not going to happen. According to Lou Martin, Barcelona cannot afford £50 million as well. They've even told Man City maximum we can go to is £35 million. Well, it's £15 million short of his release clause, so that's looking like it's a no-go, and there's no rumours of Real Madrid being interested. So what's going to happen there with Bernardo Silva? A very affordable release clause is there, and no one's willing to activate it that's meeting Bernardo Silva's demands, which is mind-blowing to me, because to me £50 million is way short of, if he didn't have that release clause, what I would value Bernardo Silva at. And I wouldn't rule out another Bernardo Silva saga this summer, and Bernardo Silva the same end result like we've had in the past 3 summers, where Bernardo Silva ends up staying at Manchester City. Remember, he signed a contract extension at City last summer to include that release clause. I don't see Bernardo Silva signing another contract extension at City, so that'll take him up to him being 31 and just about to turn 32, when he probably will leave Manchester City. And if he does want to go to Barcelona, it will be for free in 2026 when his contract expires, not this summer. And if he wants to go back home to Portugal and go to Benfica, then that's also an option, but I don't think that's going to be an option again until 2026. So we'll see. I'll keep my eyes and ears open on that, but I'm finding myself heading into the summer transfer window fairly confident that Bernardo Silva will remain a Manchester City player, even with a very affordable release clause, in which, I said, it's mind-blowing to me. Anyway, moving on, we've only got one story in from the Inns. Pretty interesting, this one. It comes in the form of a new name, and it's Christos Mandas of Lazio. He's a Greek under-21 international and Lazio's number 2. He's 22 years old. Lazio want him to stay and sign a new deal with them until 2029, and they would like to loan him out this summer. But Correire Dello Sport in Italy are saying that Manchester City, they're interested in signing Mandas from Lazio should Stefan Ortega leave the club this summer. City are going to be having showdown talks with Stefan Ortega about his future. He wants to be a number 1. He doesn't think that's going to happen at Manchester City, and we're going to lose a high-quality number 2 if his decision is he wants to leave the club. We already know that Anderlecht are interested in him. There's probably going to be a whole host of clubs from the Bundesliga being interested in the German goalkeeper as well. So Man City just trying to get everything sorted to make sure that if he does leave, that we've got alternatives in place for someone to come in. And Mandas is a player that City are interested in. According to Correire Dello Sport, City have sat down with his camp a couple of weeks ago to talk about a move, and City have been scouting him and having a look at him as well. A fee would need to be negotiated with Lazio. There isn't a release clause there. Apparently, if he does sign this new contract, Mandas does, with Lazio, his value is going to increase astronomically. It's not going to make him affordable. Lazio just want him to have regular first-team football. They're more interested in him signing a new deal and loaning him rather than selling him. But maybe Man City can twist their arm and decide for them to sell. Who knows? All depends about what money's put on offer. Remember, Manchester United got no scouts. They're also interested in signing Mandas as well. And again, another thing for me to keep my eyes and ears open for as we head in to the summer transfer window. So there we go. That has been today's transfer update. If you did enjoy the update, do make sure you do leave a thumbs up. 200 likes is the aim. Also, don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Remember, daily Manchester City transfer updates coming from June. That's next month, not long away. Keeping you up to date through June, July and August with all the latest Manchester City transfer news every single day here on YouTube. Do subscribe. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget, social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, I would say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Sofascore. And I will see you guys all again real soon for the next Manchester City video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.